Hi there, welcome to Tarot Land Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Libra energy. The top row is going to be high vibe Libra energy, and the bottom row is going to be more low vibe Libra energy. Low vibe Libra energy, or low vibe any zodiac sign, can be people who are just in their more worldly nature of life. It's not really connecting in with their intuition, or, just kind of live more of a worldly life in a sense. Kind of a unenlightened life, you'd say, just living life in the world like a lot of people do. For other people, being in low vibe energy can be that you're letting your shadow nature or your worldly nature run your life. It could be your shadow nature, can be your fear, your insecurities, your pain, your heartbreak, your fear of believing in yourself or trusting in others. It can be greed, selfishness, indulgence, immaturity, insecurity. So the top row is going to be when we're in high vibe Libra energy and what might be going on in our life when we believe in ourselves, when we love ourselves, we treat ourselves with compassion and forgiveness. We're willing to learn lessons in life so we don't let the past dictate our future, and we treat ourselves in a kind, loving manner to keep moving forward, believing in our dreams. And the bottom row is going to be how we could be tempted to be in our low vibe energy, or it could be other people in the world and the decisions they're making because they just either have a worldly focus and are consumed with things of the world. Okay, so it could be a battle within you, and we'll talk about that first. When you have hope and faith and belief in yourself, you're being careful about what you invest time, energy, and effort into because we have free will. We can invest in our fear, our insecurity, our pride, our ego, our selfishness, our indulgence. It's really not going to move our life forward. So, if you've learned those lessons in life, that life's about loving yourself and the King of Cups, it's about believing in yourself and treating yourself in a kind, encouraging, loving manner so that you can keep moving forward in life. In truth, the truth is, ever since we've been small children, we grow and thrive best in environments that are loving, encouraging, and supportive, compassionate, forgiving, and it starts within ourselves first. And that way, we're aligned with truth and love, and we can move away from mental conflict, and we can move away from self centeredness, which is kind of shadowy Aquarius energy, and the Six of Swords is Aquarius energy. And we can see through the illusions and the fears and the insecurities we have in order to keep focused on love and not let our fears and our insecurities stop us from knowing that to be in the energy of love every day and to choose that every moment of every day. I choose love. I choose to treat myself with love. I choose to be optimistic. I choose to be in an attitude of gratitude. I choose to appreciate all the blessings in my life. We have free will. We can be angry, pessimistic, you know, our life is created based on what we choose to think about ourselves and about the world. Do we choose to align with the energy of love or not love? What are we going to invest in? And Seven of Pentacles is Taurus energy, Earth sign energy, which is about our philosophy of life. What is our underlying philosophy of life going to be? Is it going to be creating illusions in the world, presenting ourselves as stable and grounded, but we're not? Is it presenting ourselves as being loyal, committed, dedicated, someone who should be looked up to and being admired, but really we're kind of selfish and greedy and manipulative? Are we going to present ourselves as a loving person? Maybe some of you are moving away from someone. The Kings in Tarot talk about how we present ourselves to the world, and we all present ourselves and take action in the world in masculine energy. There could be someone in your life, or maybe you previously, were someone who presented themselves as being a loving family person. But if you know that that was just an illusion, that really you or they were more selfish, greedy, materialistic, because shadowy Taurus energy can be, I want to put in work and effort in the world so people look up and admire me, and I want to be surrounded by luxury in life. And I'm going to present myself to the world as being a loving family person, as loyal and committed and dedicated. But if the foundation that you make decisions in your life are based on pride, ego, status, image, and that's just an illusion, you're either moving away from being that type of person yourself, or there was someone in your life who presented themselves like that, and you see through the illusion. There could have been someone that you viewed as a choice in love, but you've seen the truth. The Six of Swords moves away from the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords can be people who harness shadowy Aquarius energy. They want to look like a shining star in the world. Maybe that's their whole driving factor. Be in a relationship with me. I want to invest in a relationship with you because it's good for my ego or image. I want to look like I'm the shining star. Stay in a relationship with me because I look like a shining star. Don't move forward and keep believing in love. No, let's stay in a relationship because of ego or image or money or materialism. If you were like that in the past, or you were thinking of investing in someone who presents themselves as a loving family person, but really they're more about image or status or materialism, you've seen the truth. Investing in that person or that way of being within yourself caused you a lot of mental conflict. Because it was an illusion. It wasn't love. Investing in that thinking we'll love it, that it'll bring us love, it'll make us happy. No, it might make us happy for a while. It's kind of like listening to the devil whisper on your shoulder. The things of the world that we can invest in, if we're not doing it from love, we're creating an illusion. Some of you might know someone who did that. The Seven of Pentacles is the reason for the reading. You could be watching someone who you know presents himself as a loving person, that they harness high vibe Cancer energy, but they really move forward creating an illusion with people they get into relationships with. They're really looking at the relationship more as an investment. Are you good for my ego or image or materialistic wants and needs? And you could see somebody who is moving forward because they're not seeing things clearly. They still are under the illusions of the world, or they might have illusions about someone else. Maybe there's someone in your life who really does love someone, but they're not seeing that person clearly. And you could see that they're moving forward with this idea that they love someone, but they could not be seeing someone clearly. The person they're maybe going towards is someone, because we all have illusions about the world, right? And we're all can be in fantasy land about people, right? Some people could be moving forward with a Scorpio that they love. Maybe some of them are high vibe energy and they love someone else. And you're seeing that that's what they're doing. So, we got to accept the reality of it. Whatever the case is, if there's people moving and aligning with other people in their life, either because they have illusions about those people or they're kind of more driven by looking at people as a good investment materialistically and image wise, we got to see the truth. Or if we know people that seem to have illusions about people of being loving, but, they think life's more about an investment, or vice versa. You get the idea. What you're having to do is, out of love for yourself and listening to your intuition, seeing the truth about other people being more worldly focused or wanting to invest in other things, and being willing to move forward. Because if you had illusions of someone being a love connection with you, or being someone who would invest in love, but they're not, Well, we got to see through our own illusions and keep moving forward, believing in ourselves and believing in love and investing in love and keep moving forward. We don't want to be an illusion. We don't want to be in fantasy land about other people. Because sometimes the Seven of Pentacles can be people who are focused on working with the things of the world, and they don't want to put in the work and effort to move forward in their life. They want to keep investing in things of the world and doing life the way they've done it. And if the way they've done it is, well, I stay back here, I invest in the world and I present myself as a loving person, but I don't ever like go within in Virgo energy to gain insight and wisdom to move forward in my life. Well, if this is who they want to be, I present myself as loving, but I'm really more invested in the things of the world and repeating patterns of the past. It's like, okay, peace, I'm moving on. I am going to look forward to the future and believe in all the possibilities ahead of myself, because I do believe in love, and that's what I want to invest in. If you want to invest in things of the world and not put in work and effort to make life about love, and you're more focused on the things of the world, and those are the driving factors in your life, then I wish you peace. I'm moving on. And what you will be investing in is connecting in with your emotions and your intuition to guide you. In Leo energy of the Queen of Wands, being bold and brave to step in the spotlight of your own life, to have an inspired new beginning, to be bold and brave, to take a leap of faith, to keep listening to your emotions and your intuition to guide you, because you want to work together with others from a deep emotional foundation. You're offering love to the past, to reconcile yourself with the past, to be balanced within yourself emotionally, to let go of the past, and to move forward. Pisces energy, believing in love, believing in your dreams, offering love to the future. Some of you could have love for someone in your past. If it was just all within you, if you used to be someone who presented yourself more concerned about things of the world, that was you being in your pride and ego in Leo energy. And if anyone, out of love for themselves and have reconciled themselves with the past that made them be in pride and ego, wanting to maybe repeat patterns of the past, isn't the way, this way we're supposed to do life? This is how I grew up in a family. That's how they did life. You know, if we're in that and it's left us emotionally confused and caused us mental conflict, and we've invested time, energy, and effort to listening to our intuition, to, because we all stay in patterns of life until it starts causing us a lot of mental conflict, and we invest time, energy, and effort to be bold and brave, to think about moving forward in our life, and out of love for ourselves, we see the truth that we need to see through our illusions of how we viewed love, maybe because of how we grew up or how our family acted, and we viewed that as like, this is the epitome of love, or isn't this how people are supposed to get along together in a relationship? Maybe some people grew up in families where people did kind of invest in people because it seemed like a good investment materialistically or ego or image wise, but it really wasn't built on a foundation of love, even though there could have been love there. You know, some people have to let go of their illusions about the past, about what they viewed love as being. And they need to let go of the past, and because we all have our unique dreams and aspirations, right? And just because people in our family or the environment we grew up in or the city or the state or the country, and the way they did things 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, whatever, that we're not meant to do things exactly the way everyone did things in the past. Otherwise, we'd all be living in the 1950s and, Ozzie and Harriet and women wearing high heels and vacuuming. And, we're meant we're meant to evolve as a society. We're all given unique talent, skills, and interests and imagination. If nobody had imagination and listened to their intuition to guide them, we would keep living life exactly the same way they did it in the year zero, 2,000 years ago. Look at all the things in life that would have never changed and evolved over time. You know, we have to listen to our intuition to guide us. Life is meant to change and evolve. We take the good things of the past, the things of the past that aren't conducive to building a strong, stable environment now. We need to expand our perception of ourselves and the world around us and what we believe is possible to keep moving forward. We're not supposed to stay stuck repeating patterns of the past. So if any of you had illusions about love and you thought it was supposed to be just like it was in the past, some of you could be reconciling yourself with the past and letting it go and letting your intuition guide you. Others of you had illusions. You thought you were going to maybe move forward with someone, but then they could have created the illusion of being loving. And then when you move forward, they made some foolish decisions and kind of shadowy Aries energy that they took a risk that instead of being loving and working together with you, they took a risk to be more about their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego. And they could have invested in being emotionally manipulative and controlling or something in their pride and ego of shadowy Leo energy. And though you love them, when people take a risk not to be loving and work together with you emotionally to keep moving forward, it might be because there's things in their life that they would have to let go of, ways of being that make them feel safe and secure, like being emotionally manipulative in a relationship makes me feel safe and secure because then I don't have to put my more vulnerable nature out there and my more loving nature out there. They could want to keep doing life the way they do it, and they don't really want to work together with people from a more innocent, emotionally deep way because they could get hurt doing that. Some people are more materialistic and prideful and egotistical, and that gives them a sense of stability and security, and they think that's the way to go about living their life, and they're not willing to let that go. Some of you could know someone who took a risk to go have a new beginning with another man, other woman, who could have communicated to them that they wanted to invest in them. And you could have had a partner that you thought you were going to move forward with, but they took a risk to go have a new beginning with another man, other woman. Because Queen of Wands can mean that. And though you love them and would have liked to have worked together with them, light has been shed that isn't a stable foundation, that you have to let it go and you have to keep moving forward, believing in your dreams, and in the energy of love, keep moving forward, listen to your intuition, keep being focused on the truth. The truth is love and hope and faith and belief. Maybe you were in a relationship with someone who doesn't have hope and faith and belief in love. Maybe they still have lessons to learn. They still let their Queen of Wands, Leo energy, their emotional nature of pride and ego, fear, insecurity, immaturity, lust, greed, selfishness run their life. So we say, I believe in my dreams. I'm going to keep moving forward, believing in love, listening to my intuition, not getting caught up in my fears and my insecurities and let that cloud my judgment from seeing the truth. I'm going to keep being open and honest, treating people with love and respect and kindness. And I'm sure I'll find some people in the world who appreciate that and are willing to work together with me because they align with being truthful and honest and loving and not letting their fear and insecurity stop them, or someone who creates illusions in relationships. See the truth that some people are more aligned with their worldly nature and that's what they cling to. I want to work with the things of the world. That's where I think I'll have stability and security and success. Clinging to the worldly way of being, which can be our more base nature of pride and ego. Also, the Four of Pentacles can be selfish or greedy, doesn't work well together with others, doesn't want to learn lessons in life and move forward, doesn't want to let go of old ways of being or let go of the past and people from their past. They don't want to detach from those people. Maybe they're codependent. Maybe they really love money and materialism and are really emotionally invested and attached to money and materialism. They could be someone who holds back from being emotionally nurturing and loving. They could be someone who holds back from emotionally maturing themselves, because high vibe King and Queen of Pentacles are supposed to be people who can come together in relationships and marriages and workplaces and be nurturing and encouraging and supportive and loving in those environments, to nurture each other, to nurture children, to nurture work projects, because they've learned lessons in life and they're not in their more selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical, immature, indulgent nature. They've learned lessons in life. But maybe you knew someone who's more aligned with their shadowy Capricorn energy and shadowy Taurus energy, both earth sign energy, which if we let our earth sign aspects of being focused on the things of the world, they kind of end up enslaving us and imprisoning us and stopping us from believing in ourselves and listening to our intuition and love. Maybe in shadowy Libra energy, they live more from their mind than their heart. They turn their back on high vibe Libra energy, being just and fair and honest and truthful and willing to take action in their own life to cut out ways of being that stop them from working together with people from an emotional foundation of love. Maybe their love of the past, their love of money and materialism and pride and ego or indulgence in the world makes them turn their back on being just and fair in relationships with others. They can be emotionally withdrawn. They could be bossy and controlling. Maybe they like to be someone who likes to use their emotions manipulatively to get people to work together with them. But then when they get in a relationship with people, they kind of hold back. They're more focused on the 3D world than being just and fair and loving, because they live more from their mind than their heart. And they use their emotions manipulatively. They present themselves as a loving family person that they're willing to move forward, but then it's more of creating the illusion of it being love. Because love is freely giving, where you freely give of yourself. You're not caught up in your head and your fears and your insecurities and your emotional defensiveness. You give freely of yourself to others so that love can flow back and forth. And some people, you could have moved forward with them and they created the illusion they'd move forward in love, but it was more of an illusion. They actually hold back from loving, nurturing people who are just and fair, who do speak their truth, who do operate from love, because they haven't maybe learned how to nurture themselves. They maybe haven't learned how to be just and fair in a relationship. Maybe they're a little ego focused and self defensive, or think they should be able to be the boss in a relationship and kind of manipulate people in a relationship, and you're seeing the truth of it. And you could be holding back from someone who might want to be a partner of yours, because the King and Queen of Pentacles are the married suit of the deck. But if you know that they might present themselves as like, oh, I want to be a nurturing partner to you, but you know that the way they present themselves and the action they take in the world is more of being emotionally detached and maybe bossy and controlling and manipulative, you know? Why? Because they have a lot of inner conflict about being bold and brave and confident. You know, they could get hurt being open and honest and vulnerable. Maybe there's some people who they're kind of, the Five of Wands is Leo energy. Their pride and ego is a third party in a relationship. Their emotional defensiveness could be like a third party. And when they're more fearful, insecure, prideful, emotionally defensive nature interferes in a relationship, it can make them more emotionally detached and defensive and controlling and competitive, because fear and ego is running their life. And when they let their own like ego and defensiveness interfere with them being aligned with love and hope and faith, it opens the door for third parties to interfere in the relationship, because they don't have good boundaries within themselves. Then they don't have good boundaries to others. And then they let other people kind of tempt them to be aligned with them, to be in their pride and ego and fear and insecurity or indulgence or whatever. And it can cause a lot of conflict and fighting in a relationship. And then they have divided loyalties. Should I be with the people who encourage me to be prideful and egotistical and selfish and greedy and indulgent? Or should I align with the people who encourage me to be loving and open? You know, if they're kind of in two minds about who to align with, you certainly have a hard time moving forward with them. So you're speaking the truth and standing up for yourself. You want someone who's going to take action in the world based on the lessons they've learned in life. They've matured themselves, they've grown themselves, they've went within to gain insight and wisdom about the past, so they're not making the same mistakes and repeating patterns of the past. If we want to move forward in our life, we have to be willing to learn lessons in life. We have to learn to have better boundaries within ourselves. We need to have better boundaries and learn the lessons that some other people try to interfere in our moving forward in life for their own prideful, selfish, greedy, competitive, manipulative reasons. And if we haven't learned some lessons in life and we keep letting our shadow nature, our more codependent or fearful, insecure, indulgent nature, kind of not having good boundaries within ourselves, then we let other people interfere in our life and our relationships. When are we going to learn lessons? That we have to have some boundaries within ourselves and with other people, so they don't run our life off into the ditch and we don't run our own life off into the ditch. We're not supposed to get in relationships and just create an illusion of being stable and grounded and loyal and committed and loving, and really fear and insecurity and pride and ego and selfishness and greed and lust are running our life. But we don't tell people that. You know, you're telling people, I want someone who's grown and mature, male or female. The King of Pentacles, the masculine in tarot, talks about the way people take action in the world, male or female. We all take action in the world in masculine energy. You don't want someone who just presents themselves as, look at me, I'm stable and nurturing, and I can be a family person and a stable, grounded coworker. You want people who really can be. You know, people who are willing to change, people who've seen life from a higher perspective, not people who have a lot of mental conflict about putting in work and effort. You know, If people are in low vibe Aquarius and Virgo energy, they're going to have mental conflict about putting in work and effort. I don't want to invest. I don't want to. I like to create an illusion in a relationship where I don't really have any skin in the game. I don't want to have to be open and honest and vulnerable. I get hurt doing that. I like to create the illusion of being loving and loyal and stable and a loving family person and a loving partner, but it's more of a facade. I really got a mental conflict about putting in work and effort. I get hurt doing that. So it's kind of like getting in a relationship or a job, but kind of only putting in what you have to put in order to have it keep moving forward, but like always on guard and defensiveness. Or, oh, I really want to look like a shining star in the world. That can be shadowy Aquarius energy. I want to be the center of attention. I really want to look and keep up with the Joneses. So I might be your partner, but I'm really focused more on money and materialism and status and image because I'm in my pride and ego. And I really don't see life from any other perspective. It's all about pride, ego, image, status, materialism. You know, if you have someone like that in your life, you're going to tell them you're materialistic, you're self centered, you're all about yourself. You put in work and effort to keep operating from your pride and ego. And that's fine. If that's how you want to live your life, I wish you peace. I'm emotionally detaching from this relationship. I want to give birth to the new. And if you're not willing to emotionally detach from that way of being, I wish you peace. I'm taking creative inspired action to look to the future. I'm done repeating patterns of the past. If you're not done repeating patterns of the past and you're still in your pride and ego and defensive, I wish you peace. I'm moving on. I'm going to take bold creative action to overcome my own pride and ego and my competitive nature and my inner conflict to just keep moving forward. And I'm going to stand up for the things I believe in because I'm going to be defensive to someone who in shadowy Aries energy maybe wants to stop me from moving forward because they want to indulge themselves in a relationship with me and create the illusion that it's love. It's like, no, it's more about your wants, your needs, your lust, your greed. I'm going to take bold, confident action about the devil. If you are trying to tempt me to not move forward in my life and face my own fears and insecurities and tempt me to be more in my pride or ego or to satisfy my lust, my greed, whatever, I'm going to take bold action about that temptation because my foundation wants to have true victory in life. And true victory in life is moving forward in the energy of love. The Chariot is Cancer energy of love and home and family and self-love and emotional balance. Yeah, my pride and my ego could make me want to repeat patterns of the past because of my wants, needs, lust, greed. But I'm not going to do it because I want to be an emotionally balanced, loving, creative, inspired relationships and future. So I'm going to invest time, energy, and effort into letting go of clinging to you or that past way of being in order to lift up my investment in the past, to maintain my balance and make a decision not just based on my heart, not just based on my lust or my fears or whatever. I'm going to make a decision to be independent of you and the world, to know my own worth and value. And I'm going to keep moving forward with my long-term plan to look at life as an adventure to be lived. I no longer feel backstabbed and betrayed by some people who might have made me feel left out in the cold, maybe move forward with someone else that they love or have illusions about. I've learned my lesson from that life experience, and I'm moving forward believing I can manifest my dreams into reality. And if there is a part of you that would be tempted to become a partner to someone because it would maybe provide stability and security and maybe materialistic things in the world, where maybe in Empress energy you could be surrounded by luxury in life, but you'd be hiding the fact that, because the Virgo can mean about hiding, you'd be hiding that your foundation wants to tap into your more youthful, creative nature of being in relationships with people who've learned lessons in life, who are nurturing, who are loving. You'd be settling for a relationship that's based more on indulging yourself in the things of the world, pride, ego, image, status. And you'd have to hide like your inner child dreams, because the person you'd be getting into a relationship with, if they're in shadowy Libra energy, they're defensive mentally to love. They aren't kind of nurturing and loving themselves. They have decided to kind of ignore their more intuitive, loving, vulnerable nature in favor of having image and status and materialism in the world. And some of you could have had somebody who left your life to move forward with someone who does have money and materialism. Maybe a Capricorn, but shadowy Capricorn energy can just be someone who looks like they're very stable and abundant. You could have had someone who has illusions about someone being a nurturing, stable partner, where that maybe they think in Empress energy is very just and fair and loyal and committed and creative and inspired and loving. But if they went towards someone in shadowy Capricorn energy, the person they went towards could be presenting themselves as a loving, stable, grounded, loyal, committed person, but they're hiding that their foundation is immature and their foundation is defensive to love, because they could get hurt doing that. And maybe there's two people that, the person who has illusions about someone, they could either be under the illusion, I'll be happy being surrounded by luxury in life. I'm just going to hide my more creative, inspired nature and my loving nature, because if I defend this way of being within myself and make my life about money and materialism, I think I'll be happy. If I go get in a relationship with someone else who has money and materialism and I'm surrounded by luxury in life, I think I'll be happy. I just have to be defensive to my inner child nature that wants me to be bold and brave and creative and loving. I just have to be defensive to that aspect of myself and ignore them. Ignore that life is about being bold and brave and creative and believing in my dreams. I have somebody offering me money and stability. I'm going to settle for a relationship like that and be defensive to love. Some of them might have illusions about somebody being loving. They're going to go get in a relationship with that person because they have lessons to learn. They still, maybe someone in their past maybe reminds them of how they view love, because maybe their mother was kind of like this, or someone in their past. Maybe the King of Pentacles can be like a father energy, but the Empress can be a mother energy. Maybe they have unhealed wounds about their past that they haven't seen the truth about yet, of how something about this dynamic in their past, they might want to repeat it, and they think they can repeat it and life will be fine. But life won't be fine, because if that isn't really truly aligned with their wishes and dreams that they had in life, even though that could be how they grew up, that can be how society views that you should do things, if that's not aligned with their inner nature of truth, they're going to have a lot of inner conflict being in that relationship. Or for some of them, they have issues about their mother or father that they haven't gained insight and wisdom about yet. That they, sometimes you can get in a relationship with someone and you don't realize it till you've been in a relationship for a while. That's like, oh my gosh, you are just like my mom, or you're just like my dad. And I didn't realize that. And I didn't even realize I had a problem kind of with my mom or my dad until you get in a relationship with them. And maybe you had some parental figures that maybe could have been a little harsh. The Queen of Swords can be that in shadow energy, a little defensive to love. And if some people still are emotionally invested in trying to get people like that to love them and validate them and reciprocate their love, they could get in a relationship with someone who is going to repeat that pattern with them. And they're going to be offering love to someone who's emotionally critical and defensive, who has money and materialism or status and image, who seems like, maybe some people haven't learned to love and nurture themselves, so they keep looking for people who remind them of people in their past who can provide that stability or seem to represent that type of relationship dynamic. And they haven't learned how to love and nurture themselves and mature themselves, and they're going to keep repeating this type of pattern behavior until they get sick and tired of it. And they say, I am tired of investing in people who are defensive to my love. But they keep trying to, until they heal that wound. I know it's kind of confusing maybe, but when we have people in our past who we keep wanting people like that to love us or validate our worth and value, accept us in. Maybe there's certain people that want to be in a cool kid club. And it's like, I keep wanting the cool kid club who are really kind of in shadowy energy and maybe pompous and arrogant and whatever and really aren't very loving or kind. And but some people still want to be in that kind of club until they start to be brave and strong and love themselves and believe in themselves and follow their own dreams instead of aligning with this worldly vision of like, well, they seem like the people who are like this. I want to be accepted by that group. You know, do you really? Do you really? You know, maybe people have to temper their own pride and ego and lusts and wants. If that's going to keep putting you in a situation where people are emotionally defensive to you, you've got to be strong and believe in yourself and learn to have good boundaries within yourself and those people, and believe that there's more to life than that. There's more to life than pride and ego and image and the cool kid club. It's about trusting your intuition, not settling for being in relationships with people who are emotionally defensive to you, and be bold and brave and confident enough to stand up for yourself and defend yourself and say, oh my God, I had illusions about you. I thought you were loving and nurturing and kind, but I see you're emotionally defensive and maybe pompous and arrogant and controlling and whatever. And I'm starting to listen to my intuition, and I'm going to move forward because I deserve to be with happy, loving people who are more emotionally balanced. And I also am going to start making more mature decisions about the devil and about the world. I've been illuminated to the truth, and I choose to be in life giving energy with people who are open and honest and authentic, not people who present themselves as being like these certain people in the world, but yet they're defensive to love. I've been illuminated to the truth. You know, they could go get in a relationship with someone who tried to stop them from believing in themselves and cause them a lot of inner conflict because some people might have presented themselves as loving to someone else in their pride and ego to move forward in a relationship because they're defensive of being bold and brave and confident. They're defensive of listening to their intuition, and they could have communicated to someone that they wanted to come together in a relationship, but then they get in a relationship and they decide to be selfish and greedy and controlling and manipulative. And the whole point of some people who haven't learned their lessons is to go get in a relationship to realize, oh my gosh, you could have wanted to get in a relationship with me because you have a lot of inner conflict within yourself, or because you're really competitive. Some people could have gotten tempted to go get in a relationship with someone who has their own fears and insecurities and doesn't want to move forward in their own life, who wanted someone to come get in a relationship with them so they didn't have to deal with their own fears and insecurities, or wanted to have a new beginning, them to come get have a new beginning with them because they're really competitive. You know, I want you to come get in a relationship with me. Look, I'll present myself as being stable and grounded and nurturing and loving. Oh, but I'm hiding that I may be kind of more about my wants and needs and kind of immature. And I'm really competitive and prideful and egotistical. And I just want you to come get in a relationship with me for those reasons. So, the people who've seen the truth have seen through the illusions of people that they thought were loving. Those people are listening to their intuition and self love. They are going to reconcile themselves with the past, see that repeating patterns of the past, working with people from their past that have already shown that they're not building a foundation on love. They're letting those relationships go, and they're moving forward to have a new beginning. And other people in the world who also listen to their intuition, who also aren't repeating patterns of the past, would love to align in a relationship or a friendship with you. They could see that you're maybe holding back from someone who might want to be a partner in your life or who was a partner in your life, and that you're standing up for yourself to get the justice you deserve, and that you want to work together with others. And you've worked through your own inner conflict and you're taking bold creative action to stand up for yourself. And there could be people in your future as you move forward who communicate to you that they would like to work with you. Pentacles can be in a work environment, it also could be in a relationship, because they see that you have seen through the illusions of some people in your past that either moved away from you because either they wanted to go be in a relationship with someone else, or they still have lessons to learn in life and they're still creating illusions, living in illusion, living in fantasy land. And other people see that you're stable and grounded, and they see that you've changed and that you've put in work and effort to becoming enlightened to the truth, that you've emotionally detached in the past, and that you're moving forward, and you're moving forward victoriously and standing up for yourself. And there could be people in the world that have also done that, who could be waiting for someone else to come up the path of life that have also done that. You just have to listen to your intuition when you come across people in your future. Are they people who haven't dealt, because as you move forward in life, you're going to meet people who could find you very attractive. Are they people who turn their back on putting in work and effort into a relationship and it's more about them indulging themselves? Or are there people who are bold and brave and confident, who are very attracted to you, who want to come together in a relationship with you, who have freed themselves from their own fearful, prideful, insecure, defensive nature to move forward in love and equal give and take, in justice and fairness and balance? You'll have to listen to your intuition. If you don't listen to your intuition, well, I guess you'll have some lessons to learn. And the people in life who, there could be some people in life who could be looking back at you, seeing you're very abundant and loving and nurturing, but because they're not willing to do the work to be bold and brave and confident, they're going to keep investing in life the way they've always invested, and they could go communicate to the world or communicate to someone in their life who might want to be a partner to them and say, I am willing to defend a relationship with you. I have my sword up to the people who build from a foundation of love. because I'm not willing to build from a foundation of love. I could get hurt doing that. So I'll defend being in a relationship with based on money and materialism and status and image. Now, before I turned on the camera, I also shuffled the Intuit Oracle second edition, and we got the Tower card, the Grasshopper, which is like taking a leap of faith, and the Magnet card. You know, if we, like I mentioned before, my philosophy, the way I kind of have come to some conclusions, is that if we haven't healed from some past pain and heartbreak or dealt with our own fears and insecurities, we will be drawn and attracted towards people in our life who will teach us a lesson about those things. Some of you let go of an old foundation. You are taking a leap of faith because you are drawn and pulled towards love and hope and faith and belief in your life. Other people could be very unstable now, but they still are not willing to do the work to build their foundation stable and solid on a foundation of love. They're going to take a risk to go get in a relationship towards what they're magnetized towards, and what they're drawn towards, what they don't realize, they're being drawn towards repeating some past patterns of the past. You know, it's kind of like, have you ever been in a relationship with someone and it is like you're addicted to them? And even though they're disrespectful or immature, reckless, all these things but it's like you're addicted to them. It's because you need to learn to love yourself and see through the illusion of someone being loving when they're really not. People who are loving are open and honest and respectful and treat you with respect and love. And until we learn to love ourselves, we're going to keep being drawn towards people who aren't treating us the way we deserve to be treated because we're not treating ourselves that way. Our outer world will reflect our inner world. So, everybody will anchor down into what is reflective of their own emotional state. Everybody in the tornado, that's kind of like the Tower card, will go through some turbulence. The people who aren't dealing with their own fears and insecurity and pride and ego, I think they'll have a lot of upset in their life. It will upset the peaceful life they're maybe trying to create because it's an illusion. It's not built on love. The Coffin card reminds me of the Scorpio Death card. They're trying to build a foundation, which is kind of the garden, is where you come together with others, kind of like in society and joy and togetherness. But it's an illusion if it's not built on love. The people who are trying to come together in a relationship out of fear or insecurity or pride and ego, it's all meant to try to get them to see through their fears and insecurities and emotionally detach from those things. It doesn't mean that together those people couldn't. If people use an environment to learn and grow and mature themselves, they can all pop out the other side and start to quit being defensive to love to be loving. But people have to learn to overcome their own fears and insecurity and pride and ego. And for the people who are being drawn towards love, I would say you're lifting up anchor from an unstable foundation to go towards a more peaceful life, listening to your intuition and emotionally detaching from the past. That's how we move forward, is by emotionally detaching from old ways of thinking and perceiving about ourselves and our self-limiting beliefs and our fear and our insecurities so that we can move forward. I'm also shuffling the Rumi Oracle deck, a poet from the 13th century. This is kind of interesting because it looks like ocean waves, and water in tarot talks about our emotional state. Everybody right now in their Libra energy could be going through a lot of emotional fluctuation, and people have the free will. What am I going to do? Am I going to see through my illusions Or in my pride and ego, do I think I know best and I'm going to ignore my intuition? Instead of facing my fears and insecurities, I'm going to go get in a love relationship. I'm sure that'll make me feel better. I'm going to go invest operating in my pride and ego and go invest in other people who are probably emotionally manipulating me because of their pride and ego and competitive nature or prideful, egotistical nature. Or am I going to see the truth and see through my illusions? And am I going to invest in myself, being emotionally brave and bold and confident, and take creative, inspired action in my life to take a leap of faith? And the people who don't will probably communicate to staying in their more worldly nature, defensive to love, or they'll communicate to someone who wants to indulge them in things of the world, sex, drugs, rock and roll, money, materialism, and they'll communicate to them that they're willing to have a love offer, a new emotional beginning with them. And they'll repeat a pattern of the past. So, this Rumi Oracle is titled You Who Show the Way. The logical mind finds consolation in reaching a level of comfort in life. Lovers are focused beyond their own comfort. So it's kind of like getting out of our worldly wants and needs and focusing on something more. And the commentary says, just as the sun breaks through the darkness, bringing light to the world by simply being itself, so too does your inner sun, your soul. You are an inspiration to many and help many more than you realize. This is an acknowledgement of who and what you are, given freely because you are ready to receive it. So when you move away from illusions and social facades and pride and ego and fear and insecurity, and you listen to what your soul is calling you to do, your soul wants you to grow to your fullest potential. And when we listen to our intuition, we move away from people who we think are trying to manipulate us or control us or tempt us. If we listen to our intuition wants us to be authentically ourselves. We deserve to be free, not to be enslaved by pride, ego, image, status, fear. We deserve to love ourselves, believe in ourselves, let the world judge away. We're going to live our authentic life, not pretense. So there you go, Libra energies of the world. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.